Welcome back to episode number 3, baseball fans, of the Stressing Mets podcast. It is good to be here and be talking with everyone today. I hope everyone is having a phenomenal day. It seems like every time we do a podcast, there's a massive change in attitude and a new issue comes and then one goes. As it stands on Tuesday the 7th, the Mets are pretty much playing 500 baseball, as really their record exemplifies that. But let's start off today's podcast on a positive note as we discuss our first topic of the day, which is Christian Scott's debut. With an amazing fastball, a nasty breaking pitch to keep hitters off balance, Christian Scott destroyed it in his Mets debut, killing it, pitching 6 2/3 innings, giving up 1 run, which was in the first inning, 7 strikeouts, and 14 swinging and misses, more than most Mets pitchers this season. In my view, he's the genuine deal. Despite his spectacular start, I was just as pleased by his post-game attitude as I was by his play. He just seemed to have been there for years, not just one day, from the way he looked and talked with his attitude. His fastball, which clocked out at 96 miles per hour, honestly looked like it was being thrown 106 miles per hour. Scott has nasty stuff and could be a serious pitcher down the line for the New York Mets. As manager Carlos Mendoza stated, Scott is a valuable addition to this Mets rotation, as the Mets are going to use a 6-man rotation when Senga and McGill return. In my opinion, this is a very smart plan to maintain the pitching staff, stay young and healthy, especially Kodai Senga when he does come back. That way starters can go an extra inning or two if needed. I think this will be a very smart way for the Mets pitching staff to stay healthy. It helps not overtax your bullpen, and it helps especially not overtax your starting pitching. So I think as of right now, Christian Scott is going to help with that, and is going to be exciting to see him start in his next couple starts. It is safe to say he will be pitching at the major league level and no longer Syracuse AAA level. Now, moving on to the second positive topic of today is once again Brandon Nimmo. We talked about him last stream, and we'll talk about him again this stream. We saw the other night he had that clutch go-ahead home run in St. Louis to give the Mets the lead, and he's been hitting the ball very well as of lately. In his last 7 games, he has 25 at-bats, 4 runs, 8 hits, a homer, 4 ribbies, 3 walks, and a triple slash line of 320, 433, and 560. As of right now this season, he does have an on-base percentage of .376 and an OPS of .770 with 4 home runs, 22 ribbies, and 2 stolen bases. So you'd like to see the stolen bases, the speed go up out of Nimmo. That's going to be something that probably won't happen, but if he could steal bags, I think that would be very ideal. Defensively, he's playing great in left field. I think Brandon Nimmo is definitely the one of few guys on this Mets offense who has been consistent more than not. Another consistent bat that we can also look at has been Brett Baty, who has been playing very much better baseball. He's been swinging a nicer bat. Power-wise, we've been seeing that in the last 7 games, 25 at-bats. He has 5 runs, 7 hits, 2 homers, 4 ribbies, 3 walks, 280 average, 357 OBP, and 520 slugging. So he's been hitting the ball very hard. Even his outs have been hard-hit balls. But defensively, Brett Baty has been looking phenomenal in the hot corner. Brett Baty defensively looks like a completely different guy. We saw that this spring training and last spring training. He was getting mentored by some of the Mets' former players and veterans like David Wright and a couple other New York Mets historic players were mentoring him and giving him some advice on how to play the hot position corner, aka the third base position. And yeah, he looks like he's been playing third base for his whole career. And that whole career has been pretty much a year and a half. And last year he was a disaster at third base. And now he looks like he's arguably a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. I'm not going to say he's Nolan Arenado quite yet, but he definitely looks really good in terms of his adjustments from last year. So we'll see. He can only keep getting better at third base. So Brett Baty, Brandon Nimmo are 2 guys to take a look at. Francisco Lindor is heating up compared to the last time we talked. He's been on and off, I feel. Obviously, from a couple homestands ago. Mets fans gave Francisco Lindor a standing ovation, clapping, cheering, and ever since he's been hitting the ball much better as a lefty. He's shortening up that swing. He's not having that long lefty swing, and keeping that short-handed swing has been much better for him. He's been generating a lot more power. As we see, he has 6 homers on the season so far. So you'd like to see him hit the ball more, hit for some more power, go for some more slugging, draw some more walks, and just get on base as a total more. So Francisco Lindor is definitely starting to heat it up. So those are the, 3-4 positive things we have to talk about. But it seems things have been very negative for the New York Mets as of recently. Nextly, as stated, we get into the more negative stuff, which is the offense as a whole. This New York Mets offense has been struggling big time, partly due to the struggling slumps behind Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil, who have really not been getting many to any hits as of recently. It's safe to say both players are in a massive, massive slump. You look at this New York Mets lineup overall. As of right now, they're really in the middle of the pack out of all 30 teams in offense. Average-wise, they're 16. OBP, they're 17. Slugging, they are one of the bottom teams as they're 18. And then OPS, once again, they are at a staggering 16. So it goes to show you that this team's offense is right. As you know, they'll have plenty of games where they're going to score 8, 9, 10 runs, and then the next day they can only score 1. So this offense is very inconsistent, I think is the proper term to use for this New York Mets offense. Inconsistent at its finest. They pitch when they don't hit, and they don't pitch when they hit. And that's the moral of the story for the Mets so far this season. I do think the offense is more to blame than the pitching. The pitching really has only been save situations, I feel. A lot of the losses have been in save situations. It's not like the Mets are getting blown out 10-1, 10-2, 13-1. A lot of the Mets' losses have been close games. They have been 1, 2, 3-run games, which is a save situation. It's just the Mets offense right now is not hitting with runners in scoring position. You get bases loaded, strikeout, double play, boom. They need to start playing more fundamental baseball. I want to see more sac flies, just more advancing the runner over. And that's what the Mets have not been doing a lot. We saw that partially the lineup took a big dip when Francisco Alvarez went down. So having Omar Narvaez or Tomas Nido take over the catching role, that's a big hit to the New York Mets lineup. But overall, on top of that, when you have a struggling Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil, that's kind of hard. Because right now those are two valuable hitters who really need to step it up. Need to step it up overall from those two guys. It's going to be important that Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil step up. McNeil, he's just showing that launch angle swing, and it's getting the best of him. We're seeing a lot pop flies and infield flyouts from him, so he needs to start hitting the ball on the ground, be that slap the ball mentality hitter. I hope he could do it. Pete Alonso, more realistic to turn it around. He just looks lost at the plate. He's been given an off day. Hopefully he can, just turn it around. Once Pete Alonso starts going to the opposite way, which we've been seeing, that goes to show you that he's starting to get his sense and his bat back. So I think it'll be a matter of time before Pete starts to go off again. He just needs to start getting that average up a little bit more and getting more of his base hits, and that'll generate home runs and the ball to travel a lot more. So we're going to have to see, but overall, offense needs to step up. Pitching, continue to do what they're doing. We've been seeing that Adrian Hauser has been moved to the bullpen. Very smart decision by Carlos Mendoza and this New York Mets team. Considering he has been struggling. So let him help out the bullpen, because I wouldn't say they've been overtaxed, but it's nice to help out the bullpen. You have a guy that can go 2-3 innings. So I think Adrian Hauser going to the bullpen is going to be a very good move for them. Otherwise, that is all I have for today's podcast, episode number 3 of the Stressing Mets podcast. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Give this video a like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you disagree? What is your thought on the New York Mets currently? Till next time, baseball fans, see ya, and let's go Mets.